Hey everyone, it's Melinda with Tailored and Teal. I am a part-time online reseller on Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace. And today we're going over what sold on those platforms from July 16th through July 31st of 2022. As always, we are going to start on Facebook Marketplace, where I actually did have one sale. And as a reminder, I'm not really listing too many things over on Facebook Marketplace. I'm only listing really special items over on Facebook Marketplace, mostly hard goods, some shoes, and some other odds and ends. But clothing, unless it's a super special piece, I am not listing over there because I wasn't seeing enough sales in order to make it worth it. But the one sale that I did have was a free to me item. It was a 60s classic CD set. There were 3 CDs in it. Excellent condition. It was given to me by a family member instead of donating it, and it sold for $5. Facebook Marketplace takes a very small fee, so the fee for this item was 41 cents, giving me a profit of $4.59. Moving on to Mercari, where I had 4 sales. The first sale was a pair of shoes. These were by the brand Abound, and they were a tan suede peep toe block heel shoes, or shooties, I guess you could consider them. Abound, I believe, is sold at Nordstrom, and they sold for full asking price of $25. The next item was from my most recent jewelry unboxing from the Goodwill Blue Box. It was an E-Charm monogrammed initial necklace, all silver tone, really nice condition. It sold for $10, and it surprisingly sold within an hour or 2 of me listing it. Next item was a Brooks Brothers red fleece, navy blue corduroy shirt. This was like a mini corduroy, like the lines were really, really tiny, and it was super soft and plush. This came out of either a ThredUp men's rescue box or a Jomar men's casual button-down box. I cannot remember, but it sold for $20, and that was an offer that the customer sent to me. And then the last sale was an unbranded blanket poncho. This was multicolored, but like perfect colors for fall. I purchased this from ThredUp's outlet center, and when I did a Google image search, I actually thought that it might be a designer item. I think Burberry was the designer item that was coming up, but it was not. It was a dupe, but still a really cool piece, and it sold for $23, and that was an offer that the customer sent to me. So on Mercari, for my 4 sales, I had $78 in sales, $11.27 in fees, giving me a profit of $66.73, and my average sales price for each item that sold was $19.50. Then moving on to Poshmark, where I had 19 sales. And surprisingly, July of 2022 was my best month so far on Poshmark of this year. Kind of crazy because it's usually summer slowdown, but I did have a lot of good higher dollar amount sales, so I think that that helps. So if you watched my last What Sold video, you know that I sold a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses over on eBay, but they got returned. I relisted them on 3 different platforms, and they sold within a day or 2 of me listing them on Poshmark for $60. I did give a shipping discount, and my overall profit of that was $24.09 because this did come from my bulk wholesale box. So I did pay up for this item a little bit more than what I'm used to paying for my inventory. Next is a pair of Tiki's Phoebe Brown sandals. These again came from the bulk box. They didn't sell for as much as the black sandals that sold in the last What Sold video, but they sold for $30. Because I did pay up for this item, I obviously didn't make a huge profit. My average cost of goods for the bulk wholesale box was $22 and change, so I was only left with $1.81 in profit. But these actually had a little bit of wear to them, I guess. They were all customer returns, so whatever happened when it got returned, they had a little bit of peeling of the leather, notated it, of course, and they still sold. Next is an item that I have had since January of 2019, and I actually screamed when they sold because I was so happy. As a pair of vintage America Blues embroidered skinny jeans. These were a smaller size. They had blue embroidered flowers near the pockets. I thought they were super cute. They were in gently pre-owned condition and they finally sold for $12. It feels really good when an old item sells, that's for sure. Next item to sell was another pair of Madewell earrings. These were just a pair of mini hoop earrings and they sold for $16. Next is another item I've had since 2019, but from March of 2019. They were a pair of Adidas cropped elastic waist track pants. I think one of the reasons why they didn't sell is because they were a cropped length and that's not really in anymore, at least with track pants. So I was very happy when someone came along and purchased them for $10. I still made a profit though. Next was an Abercrombie & Fitch muscle maroon plaid shirt. This came from a Jomar men's button-down shirt box and it sold for $15. Then we have a silver tone green malachite oval stone ring. This was a size 8. It was not sterling silver, it was just a silver tone and it sold for $12. I do believe that the stone was real though. Next is another men's button-down shirt. This was an Isaac Mizrahi black woven button front shirt. This was the type of shirt that you actually needed cufflinks in order to hold the cuffs together. This was kind of a fancier shirt, but still very classic with the color black, and it sold for $16. Next sale is a lot of 2 Banana Republic Sloan fit pants, but these were size 0 petite. They came out of my 50-pound thread-up mixed item box back in January, and since they were the same size and the same style, just in 2 different colors, black and navy blue, I decided to lot them up, and they sold for $20. Someone got a good deal on those. Next, we have a Brighton tiered silver heart necklace. This is from Brighton's Brazilian collection that is still available on their website, which I thought was kind of cool. I think they originally had this listed at $25 or maybe $22. It's not listed on their website for very much money, so I try to always take that in account when I'm pricing my items. Someone sent me an offer for $18 and I accepted. Then we have a pair of American Eagle black super stretch midi shorts. These were slightly faded, gently worn, kind of like a worn in condition, and they sold for $12. Next is another pair of Madewell earrings. These were a very light silver, chunky, medium-sized hoops. They were hollow and very lightweight, and they sold for $15. Next, we have another item from 2019. I really enjoy when old items sell, but I'm also cursing myself at the same time for even picking them up in the first place. It's kind of a bittersweet moment. This was a pair of Gap 1969 teal and white printed cutoff denim shorts. It had this cool like diamond / tic-tac-toe pattern to it. It's what it reminded me of, like X's and O's, and they sold for $12. Next up was a lot of 4 sample perfumes. This was by the brand Juicy Couture, and they sold for $8 with discounted shipping. My cost of goods was very low for these items, so I'm happy with that. Next is a pair of 9 West Vintage America Western low top boots in really nice condition, a good size, size 10, and they sold for $28, and they came out of my Cozy Threads boot box, which has done very well. Then we have a pair of Adidas light gray jogger sweatpants. These actually came out of my thread-up men's rescue box that I did just a few months ago, but they were actually women's. After I put in the style name into Google, it came up with women's joggers, so I listed them as that, and they sold for $16. Next, we have a bundle of jewelry, which doesn't always happen. In fact, it's very rare for it to happen. I took off a random Friday from my corporate job, so I was busy listing all morning. All of a sudden, someone just bundled a whole bunch of jewelry together. I usually don't think much when people bundle items because either people don't understand how bundles work or they're really just browsing. So when I threw out an offer, I really wasn't expecting the customer to accept it, but they did. And like within a few minutes of me sending the offer. So this was a bundle of a gold pink rhinestone bracelet, a football bronzy bracelet, a stethoscope necklace that came from my via trading Amazon lot of jewelry, and then a silver tone cameo pendant, and they sold for my bundle price of $32. Next up, we have a pair of Gap Kids 1969 elastic waist drawstring jeans. These were a size small, regular. I do believe that they were boys jeans, and they sold for $7 with discounted shipping. I only made a profit of 80 cents on these, but they were in good enough condition for me to list, and they came out of a thread-up denim rescue box. So still happy that I was in the green on those. Next up is a cowrie shell necklace. It came on a tan cord that had a slide lock on it, so you can adjust it to any length. And I always thought that these were called puka shells. I thought that anything that was like the puka necklaces, the chokers, and then these shells, I thought they were all the same for some reason. But while listing these, I realized that they were not puka shells and they were called cowrie shells, and that's C-O-W-R-I-E. And this sold for $12. Very beachy, surfer vibes, that kind of thing. All right, so of my 19 sales, we had $351 in sales, $76.80 in fees. I gave out $15.48 in shipping discounts, giving me a profit of $258.72 with an average selling price of $18.47 per item. Moving on to eBay, where I had 15 sales, and surprisingly, and I honestly don't really know how because eBay is just dead in general for me, this was my best month on eBay of 2022. I did have some higher sales, which we're gonna go over, and I think that that helped push me over the edge. So, first item was a Vanishing Act solid black swimsuit bikini bottoms. These were a size 10. They were given to me for free, and they sold for $14.99, which was my full asking price. Then we have one of the big ticket items to sell. This was a Wesson, and that's W-E-S-N, almond pocket knife. It was in a gray color and it had a titanium handle. This came out of my bulk wholesale box, so I did pay up for this item. These pocket knives has gotten a lot of views and traction and offers on eBay. I haven't listed them anywhere else because I don't think that pocket knives are allowed on the other platforms. Most of the offers were around $70 to $80, but I really wanted to stick to my price of $90 or higher, and I have them listed for over $100. I think most of them are listed at like $115. A lot of people sent me offers around $70 to $80, but I was going based off of the comps, and the comps were right around what I wanted to get for the item. This particular knife sold for $95, and then a few sales down, we'll go over what the other knife sold as, and I have one knife left to sell. I had a feeling that they would go fast, but I really wasn't sure. That's why I like listing different types of items to try them out and see how they do. Next is a gold tone rhinestone bangle bracelet. This was marked SAL, which I did not know what that stood for until I went to list it. It stands for Swarovski American Limited. Limited? I think it was limited. And that's a mark that they used in like the late 70s to 80s. So I knew that I had an older piece. I looked at comparable sold listings. I listed it around $25, and someone sent me an offer of $20 within an hour of it being listed, and I accepted. Next is a pair of sterling silver earrings. They were dangle earrings. They had a black bead, and then they also had 3 little dangle parts. They looked like boat oars. That's what I thought of in my head. And they sold for $12. All right, so here's the other pocket knife. So this is the same brand, Wesson, and it was the almond folding knife in green. It had a pocket clip on it. The handle material is made out of G10, which I really thought that that was the style number because I know nothing about knives or pocket knives, but it's actually a material called G10 that is pretty durable and strong. And this particular set also came with a leather sheath. I was running a 15% off sale, and it sold for my full asking sale price of $97.74. Next, we have a pair of Kenzie light wash mid-rise fray hem side vents denim stretch shorts. I think I copied that directly from my eBay listing, and they sold for $10. Next is a Columbia Omni Shield red, white, and blue shirt. This shirt was very worn. It had a lot of pilling. The fabric felt worn. I did try to express that in the listing. I took lots of pictures and I figured that someone would still buy it because it was a size extra large. And someone did send me an offer of $7.50. I still made a profit of over $4, so very happy with that. And it didn't end up in the landfill. Next is an Eddie Bauer gray and black striped fleece jacket. This jacket actually fit me perfectly, and I told myself that if it didn't sell by this fall that I would wear it. Well, lucky for me, it sold. It sold for $15. Next is a Calvin Klein red ruffle tiered dress. This I've had since August of 2019, which was really sad because it's a really cute dress. Very well constructed, very heavy because it's that like stretchy rayon material. And it sold for $4.25, and I believe it was a size 6. Next up is a puzzle that sold. I actually purchased this puzzle for myself at a thrift store. I put it together, I snapped a picture, and then I took a picture of the rest of the stuff, and it sold within a week of being listed. It was the brand Workshop, and it was the colorful desert bloom cactus 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. And it came with 2 little like 8x11 art prints that you could hang up on your wall. And it sold for my full asking price of $19.99. Next up is a new with tags olive and oak strappy V-neck shift dress. This was a size medium. I've had this for a very long time, from 2019, but I wasn't willing to let it go for that lower price of like $4 or $5 like I've been doing with my old items because it was new with tags. And I'm glad that I held out because it sold for $19.99. Then we have a Talbot's vintage black pleated applique and beaded maxi skirt. This was definitely much more of a formal skirt that you would wear to like a gala or a wedding or something like that. This came out of my Cozy Threads Talbot's box, and it sold for $35. And I actually accepted this offer in my sleep. Have you ever done that before, where you wake up in the middle of the night, you see that someone sent you an offer, you accept it, and then you wake up the next morning and you don't remember doing so? Happens to me more often than I would like to admit, I think, but I'm happy that I did because the customer paid right away, and I also got positive feedback and they said it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy it found a good home because it really was stunning. Next is the second time this pair of jeans has sold. This was a pair of Levi's 501 light wash 26x32 button fly jeans. These finally sold again for $19, and I'm hoping that they stay at their current home because I don't really want to sell them again. Then we have a Goodfellow & Co. pink and blue plaid shirt. This was called the Northrup Shirt. It sold for $14, and originally the customer had sent me an offer for $10 and it was listed at $20, so I counter offered at $14 and they surprisingly accepted at that offer. And then the last sale was a diachroic cobalt blue and silver glass ring. This was a super wide band. It came out of my most recent jewelry unboxing of the Goodwill blue box, and I think it was handmade actually because it was kind of crude looking. Like you could tell that when they put the band together, it wasn't straight, it was a little bit crooked, so I thought that was pretty cool, and it sold for $10, and that was an offer that this customer sent to me. So of my 15 sales on eBay, we had $394.46 in sales. I made a shipping profit of $27.63 because I actually charged the customer a little bit more in shipping than what I actually paid through eBay through their discounted shipping options. Fees this time was $77.92, giving me a profit of $344.17 and an average sales price of $26.30, thanks to those pocket knives that sold. And now moving on to my total sales, where I had 39 sales. I had $828.46 in sale dollars, $154.25 in fees. My cost of goods this time was $201.44, giving me a net profit of $472.77, and my cost of goods for each item that sold was $5.17, but I did have a lot of those bulk wholesale items that sold that I paid over $22 for, so that's why that number was a little bit higher. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up before you leave, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed and you want to be, go ahead and click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell notification to get notified when I put out videos, which is at least once a week. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!